everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia, and this is the 2019 Kia Forte. Now we're going to do sort of a brief walk around of these two vehicles behind me, but this is only the launch of this whole video series. So if you're watching this video, I plan to spend most of the next week really digging into these cars, telling you about them, and if you have questions about them, let us know in the comments below, because these cars have been here for about an hour. It's an extremely windy day, so it's tough to get video on these cars the way I want to, and we have a whole bunch of things planned for them anyway. So we're going to briefly walk over two models behind me. Now this is on the left, this is an LX model, it's an automatic transmission, and this is the EX model. So basically what we're looking at is the lower end of the lineup, and the reason we're talking about these cars is because they have incredible value. So let's talk about it for a second. We can talk about styling, a whole bunch of things, but we're really just going to hit on value right now. The red car behind me, it's got a little different lights than the blue car, and it's probably not one you've seen in a lot of the marketing materials. It's just sort of standard headlights. We'll show you them right here. There's a little bit less of that X look that we have on the EX model. But that car there, if it was a manual transmission, it would still come with air conditioning, power locks, power mirrors, power windows. It would also have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, standard. Heated seats, heated steering wheel, standard. And I don't usually talk about pricing in this vehicle, but a manual transmission of the car you see there is about 16.5 Canadian. So put it in terms that I can understand, in 2003 I bought my very first brand new car. It was a Hyundai Elantra GT. It was a stick shift. It had no ABS, it only had air conditioning, it had cruise control. It was $18,500. So people telling us cars are getting more expensive, I totally agree with you, except when you're talking about these cars. The same class of car, you know, how many years ago was 2003, like I guess 15 years ago, was more expensive. This is a better car by leaps and bounds over what we used to pay for the same price in 2003. So let's go over a couple of these cars. We're going to start here with the LX model. We're going to work our way to the EX model, and throughout the next week we're going to put all kinds of videos up. So again, let us know in the comments what you want to know, what I've missed. We'll cover it over in the next week. So we're starting with this LX model. Now the LX model is by no means a base model. It's priced like one, but it isn't. And that shows up in some of the details that you see. You've got the Kia's familiar tiger nose grille. Now a lot of people will try to say this is a mini Stinger. I don't see that. I do see the family resemblance, but Kia's really going with this look here of the tiger nose grille. And the way they do this brushed aluminum look, even on this, base level, this is the cheapest possible way you can get an automatic transmission. That's the way this car looks, and the brushed aluminum look here makes it look high-end. You've also got a good lip spoiler here, so we haven't cheaped out on the bumpers or anything like that. Signal lights are through here. Your headlights, even though they don't have the X pattern that you've probably seen on the marketing materials for this car, they still have a really good design in here, and they're projector beam headlights. So what does that mean? That means that they have that real sharp cutoff. It focuses the light a little bit better. I always buy cars with those lights because as soon as they became available, they just make it a real nice, clean cutoff, a better, safer light in my opinion. Down here, you've got, Kia does this on a number of their cars. These vents here are functional. They help with aerodynamics, and they help move the airflow through the front wheel, and that reduces the buffeting. While we're talking about aerodynamics, we should talk about fuel economy. It has what Kia calls an IVT transmission. It's basically like a CVT transmission. Now you'll hear auto reviewers hate CVT transmissions. I used to be an auto reviewer, and I used to hate them as well. But it's kind of like saying you've seen a Model A Ford and you hate cars. Things change, things get better. The transmission in this car is phenomenal. It really is. So when you're reading somebody and they say, oh, I don't like CVT transmissions, give this one a try. We've compared it to the competitors' CVT transmissions, and I can tell you that it does perform better. I'm very impressed with it. But the reason they do that is with fuel economy. So we're talking about aerodynamics. We also talk about the transmission. It's all about fuel economy. This car gets very, very good fuel economy. I think the numbers are on the stickers. We can check that for you later. But it's aimed at getting great fuel economy. The power numbers are actually down in this car, and all of us are like, oh no, it's going to be slower. But because of that transmission, the technology in this transmission is actually faster than the previous Forte. So you've got less power, but more speed, and you've also got more fuel economy. So that's a great way of doing it. And we talk about features in this car. One thing you probably can't see from that camera angle is there's a little camera up in the windshield up here. That does two things for you. And keep in mind, this is the base model. This car has what's called lane keeping assist. not just lane departure warning. It doesn't just warn you as you're leaving a lane, it can actually steer the car within the lane, and there's two settings on that. One that'll steer as it comes to the edge of the lane, and a more active setting that will keep you centered in the lane. Now you may think that's kind of weird. You can turn it off if you don't want, but it's a fantastic system because as cars are getting more technology, you're touching the screens and stuff, you're looking away from the road. This can keep you in that lane, and it's a great safety feature. The other thing that camera system does is it gives you auto emergency braking. So it will work to try to stop if it sees a collision's imminent. It will do its best to slow down and stop for you. It is the kind of thing that I say to people, you should test it out like you test out airbags. In other words, don't try it, but know that it's there to help keep you safe when you need it. We move along the side of the car. Again, base model, you've got you don't have alloy rims, you have the wheel covers there. You've got body colored mirror covers there, body colored door handles, a nice sharp look. You move along the back here, you've got unique lights to this car, even little details, you can't see them from the camera angle again, but a real sharp cutoff right here, little triangular detail there, all helps with aerodynamics and fuel economy. Now we're gonna go compare a couple little differences on the EX model before we hop back in this car and talk about some of those differences. So the EX model is really differentiated from the front end, the camera angle I'm not showing you right now. You can see these lights out front. They have that X pattern, and of course in video they flicker, but in real life there's no flickering there. That whole piece that is flickering is lit. And they also have, this particular one has fog lights. That's the part of the launch edition that won't be available in every EX. It's just part of the first 300 cars that are launched in the EX trim. Moving back to the side of the car here, the real differences you see, of course, are the wheels. Now you've got a few different wheels, tire choices on this one. This is the mid-size rim. So the EX model replaced our LX Plus. If you're Canadian, you bought the LX Plus before, you're looking at this car now, and that's a big step up. You've also got chrome details along here and along the bottom of the window. Inside the mirrors, you still have the body color mirror, but you do gain a signal light in there. And that is about it for visual differences on the outside. So when we talk about the inside, there's a number of little things as well. Again, these are the two lower level trims. So we're gonna start with the red car again, the LX, and talk about some of the details inside that car. All right, the first thing you notice when you sit in the car, it's just really comfortable. And that's what you want. These are not like a cheaper level seat. They're still kind of a sports seat. They've got good support on the sides. They're long underneath the legs, which is what you want. They're height adjustable, so you can move them back up and down, back and forth. That's a manual adjustment here. But here's where things just get crazy. Keep in mind, like I said, in 2003 when I bought an Elantra GT with literally no ABS brakes, manual transmission, it had air conditioning and cruise control was really the only thing. I think it had a 6-speaker stereo system as well. That was $18,500 of my own money, and that mattered to me. This one's $16,500 Canadian. What do you get with that? Automatic headlamps, which means your headlamps, you set it to auto, they turn on as soon as it gets dark, and they turn off when it gets light. That's amazing. You've got steering wheel controls here for your Bluetooth. Of course, that's standard stuff. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay on an 8-inch screen. Now, if you've seen the Stinger screen, they haven't told us that this is out of the Stinger, but I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty sure it's out of the Stinger. It's a high resolution 8-inch screen. It's fantastic. So what does Android Auto and Apple CarPlay get you? Navigation. You can get navigation through your cell phone with your data plan. It uses very, very little of your data plan, but you get that in this car now. You're probably already using Apple Maps and Google Maps already on your phone anyways. Now you're getting it safely in the screen in front of you through the speakers of the car. That works great. Of course, texting abilities, you can text by voice, all the features that go through that. And I'm gonna update our, whoa, the wind's blowing the door shut. There we go. I'm gonna update our videos on Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with this car because there's a few things I think that in this car make a lot of sense. So what else have we got? Cruise control, of course. We've got an information display in the center here. You can change a bunch of settings in there. I want to talk about this lane keeping assist again. When I said it keeps you in the lane, you can set that up. And what it feels like is just if you were to steer past it, feel like you're going a little ripple in the road. You can turn it off, but again, when I've been driving, you glance at that screen for a second, you can drift in a lane. Lane keeping assist is going to help keep you centered in the lane when it sees the lane. So design and style wise, when we talked about comfort, we're going to talk about a few other things. The armrests in the driver's seat of this car, they're padded. You don't get that in a base car, almost ever. So they're padded. Power windows, power locks, power mirrors, all that standard stuff. The vents in here, they look like Stinger vents, so it's a high-end look. You've got air conditioning, of course. You've got heated seats, 3 levels of heated seats in the front seats. You've also got a heated steering wheel. That's standard on every Forte that we have in Canada. So unbelievable. You've got 3 drive modes as well, normal, sport, and smart. They recommend starting people in smart mode. What that does is, I'm just holding the door with my foot here because the wind is so strong. What that smart drive mode does is it works with the transmission, the way the gas pedal works and feels, to help you, if you're driving economically, get great fuel economy. If you really need to give it the gas, it'll switch that transmission to operate under a power type mode and give you a lot of power. You don't have to understand how it works, just drive it and see. It works really well. Clean dash layout, clean everything. Kia's really into simple stuff. We continue to win awards for our simplicity, for how easy things are to use and how easy things are to work in here. So you've got a lot of features, but they're all very easy to work. You've got, little things that matter. Your side visors, maybe it's just a hair on the screen, but they can be moved in and out on there. You've got mirrors in there, of course. Your, what do you call them? Your sunglasses can go up there. So a lot of features for a base level car. You've got a separate tray to put your phone. In the EX, we're going to talk about that, because in the EX model, you can actually charge your phone wirelessly just by setting it up there. The shift lever in here, everything looks and feels high-end. Leather down there, leather on the steering wheel, nice soft touch. Everything that you pretty much touch is soft touch. Cup holders, lots of storage compartments. I mean, this car is loaded, and it's our base model. Let's quickly check the EX, because there's a couple other extra features on that car, and then we'll finish this video up and you can tell us what you want to see more. All right, so in the EX model, again, just one step up from the lowest level automatic transmission car. Again, there's a manual transmission car I just don't have today, which was basically the same as that one. A few safety features that aren't included. But in this EX model, you upgrade sort of the level of bling, I guess is the best way to say it. You've got some chrome, sort of brushed aluminum kind of look details. You've got some extra stitching, extra level of detailing in the doors. You got things like automatic climate control. It's a dual zone automatic climate control. Again, this is what replaced the LX Plus model for us. So this is a, they now call it the EX, but it's really only a step up from the LX. Dual zone automatic climate control. What does that mean? Set the temperature for whatever you want, let's say 22 degrees Celsius. And if you need heat in the morning, which is like this time of year, you need heat in the morning and cool in the afternoon, it'll just bring it down to that temperature or up to that temperature. You don't have to ever touch it. The dual zone just means, of course, driver and passenger can set their temperatures to different temperatures. One thing I didn't point out, tilt and telescopic steering wheel. That is in both cars. You do get that in the LX as well. This one adds blind spot detection, which I really like. It's got a little orange light in the mirror. You can have a button here. So that does two things for you. One, it gives you a little light in the mirror when somebody's in your blind spot. It can beep for you if you don't see them or if you're signaling and they're there. The other thing it does is it does what's called rear cross traffic alert. When you're looking in the camera system, you're looking in the camera and you're backing up, if somebody's approaching you from the left side or the right side, whether they're walking or driving, it will warn you that someone's coming. Now that's useful because we're backing up a lot more without looking behind us. We're looking at our backup cameras, which isn't ideal, but it's also useful when you're parked, let's say between a couple minivans, and you can't see past those minivans until you back right up past them in a parking lot or something at the mall. It will warn you of things that you can't physically see. Even if you are looking, it'll warn you right on the screen which side they're coming from and that there is something coming. So that's a great feature. Any car that we have with blind spot detection will have that rear cross traffic alert. And if you want to know more about that, we have it in a video on our YouTube channel. You can look that up there. You do have a good information display here. You have tire pressure monitoring in this car. You have, oh, I got to use my cheat sheet. Let's go through. So in addition to the LX I showed you, aero wipers. So I guess you get different wiper blades on the car. Sliding center armrest. Rear climate ventilation, so you have some extra ventilation controls in the back here, which you can turn on or off. Satin chrome details, yeah, the different dash type things, a little different screen. The LED headlights, which we talked about, the a little bit more extra chrome we talked about, and of course the different wheels. So a step up in appearance, a few extra safety features, and we're only at the second from bottom of the trim line. So there's still models above this. We'll talk more about them in a future video. But there's the basic overview. We're pretty excited about this car because in Canada, if you're watching the States, I'm sorry, but in Canada, these cars are a tremendous value. The Rio, when we brought it out, people were upset with me because my Rio in Canada had different things in the States. Same thing here, I'm pretty sure. We're getting tremendous value at the price point, trim options, everything. These cars are gonna compete very well in this class. Kia just got serious about small cars. I think with Ford getting out of things like the Focus and Civic's doing well, Corolla's doing well, this car is a car that's going to take on anybody. For the price point and the features, this is a really great car. So all week we're going to be doing videos on this car. We make these videos to earn your business. This one's run a little bit long. If you want to see something, we're going to do a number of shorter videos as well. Let us know what you want to see. Tell my bosses you like that I'm doing this. Let me know in the comments that we're doing a good job. And the more comments they see, the more they realize that this is important, that we should keep doing it. And we'll continue to make these videos for you. So hopefully we can earn your business. If you're in the Greater Toronto area, we're making these videos to see you here. Swing by for a test drive. It's Friday right now. These will be available for test drive Saturday morning. So come by and check out the 2019 Kia Forte.